Hello everyone, this is Zeeg777 and welcome to the server select screen. Today we are starting off, we restarted the server recently, and we are starting a new pack which is called Arcane Isles. This is a kind of official pack for Arcane. Basically it's a skyblock pack of Ars Nouveau. So I wanted to start on the load screen here because, well, I haven't actually connected before. So let's kind of see what happens here once we join. Joining world, and any moment now. From what I understand, we might miss. Apparently it is raining, which is unideal. And yes, here we go. Hello and goodbye. Yep. Anyway, we have Forgiving Void on, so it's not too much of a problem. We just may take a lot of damage, and this is probably the worst spot possible to land. Let's try this again. Yeah, we're still getting the server set up properly with spawn here. Apparently, on initial spawn, you spawn just off the side. There we go. Yep. Cool, first death. And we're going to do that again. Cool. Let's try to land. There we go. Okay. So, welcome to spawn. Let's go ahead and that's someone else's grave because we are not alone in this. So let's pick you up. There we go. Okay, we have our quest book and our tablet of Conjure Island starter. Let me do a little bit of reading here. We've got a nice little ship that Zachris has built. This is the official server spawn start. We need to find a sign somewhere that says what command we type. Alrighty, to start, /skyblock create. We can return with /spawn, and we can do skyblock visit to visit everyone else. Currently there is no one else online, but I believe Zachris and Bailey both have a little bit of a starting area built up already. So we shall do skyblock create. And here we are. Well, apparently we have successfully created Team Joggingrim. That'll probably get a different name later on, but we start off with a lovely little ritual brazier on top of a small grass platform and a whole lot of nothing else. We do have apparently 2 quest books, cool. Can I actually use you in any recipes? No, so you are completely useless to me because we have a quest book right here. Getting started, making space. Get a tablet of Conjure Island starter. Well, we start with that, so that's cool. And that'll give us a worn notebook. Cool, which we don't really need. And next quest is to get a novice spellbook. So progression is a little bit different here. Apparently we have 2 of these. Nice. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Start our starter island. Go ahead and right click. And we have a lovely island is forming around us. And here we are. Welcome to Skyblock. We have a little bit of a starting platform. This is fairly deep. You saw it being built up, so we can of course dig down. There's a lot of dirt here that we can use, but first thing we're going to need is our novice spellbook out of the chest. Everything else can go in here because I don't really care about it. We have touch. That's all. But we did get a quest, so let's go ahead and see what that is, because I believe that gets us the Tablet of Mana Regeneration. Yes, you'll notice down in the bottom left corner there are mana, or lack thereof, rather. Yeah, we don't actually have any base mana regen. We'll get a little bit more as we progress and we unlock more glyphs and stuff. That'll of course still give us mana, but in the meantime, we need to punch a tree. So, not going to miss much here. I'm just going to punch a little bit and then get myself a wooden axe so I can chop a little bit faster. And here we have our first bit of progress, our wooden axe. The Frostaya I'm going to put in there. We're going to need that later. And basically we just need to chop the rest of this tree still. It's okay if any leaves and such, or saplings rather, fall off the edge. We will get more. We actually get quite a lot of saplings from these types of trees, so I'm not too concerned about it. Most will fall on the platform itself, so that's fine. In the meantime, just kind of going to climb up to the top of the tree very, very slowly. And once we get there, we'll finish chopping off the tree, and we can get started on some actual progress. Well, as it turns out, 1 wooden axe is not even enough to finish chopping 1 single archwood, which is fine, I guess. You know, I'm just going to leave the rest of this here for now. Let's go ahead and do something a little bit more productive, and that is place some of these back down and plant some Frostaya. So Bailey originally added these as kind of a troll item. You can eat them. You shouldn't eat them though. That's a problem. But what they are is they are things that will grow. So that means they can be these can be composted. They can also give you power with the agronomic source link, which we are going to be abusing that quite a bit throughout this. But for now, we just kind of need to get started and get things actually, running. So let's plant that on top there and plant you there. Cool. All right. What's next? We need to plant some saplings. Now, one interesting thing with Archwood, which I've used before, but it's going to be a lot more useful now, is they have a habit of breaking blocks and turning them into dirt. So I'm going to abuse this and plant the sapling right there. It'll grow to the southeast, will be the center of the tree, and it's going to replace these 3 blocks with dirt. So dirt is semi-renewable, I guess. You can use this to get more dirt. We'll also get a lot more dirt later on, but for now, just about any block is going to be useful. Let's see, what is next on our list here? Tablet of Sedimentation. This is going to be basically how you get everything. We need a crush glyph. This Tablet of Sedimentation is basically our cobblestone generator, and it's Frostaya and a cascading log. So let's go ahead and grab those, and we planted all of you. Of course we did. Alright, well I let that grow just a little bit, did a little bit of more kind of planting this, prepping for more of the Frostaya, but let's go ahead and get this actually placed. Now I think this is a shapeless recipe. Yeah, it is. So Tablet of Sedimentation, which if we get that, I believe gives us one of the other things we need. We need Crush, we need Conjure Water, and a Ritual Brazier. So this ritual, and also I think there's a thing here to mention, don't break your Ritual Braziers, because, for instance, this guy here, the mana regeneration, I think we can craft that later on, but not for a while. In fact, we should probably activate you. So we have mana. Cool, thank you. I'm actually going to break this sapling and kind of change where things are, and that is because we want this Ritual Brazier down here. So I'm going to put this, I think right here will work fine, and I'm going to dig out a little area around it. So as it mentioned, it is a Tablet of Sedimentation. Now what that does is it will turn water into cobblestone. However, it'll turn 4 source blocks into 1 cobblestone. So what we need to do is clear a little bit of an area around it here. Let's go ahead and clear all of this. And we should probably learn our 2 glyphs as well. Conjure Water, Crush. Cool. Number 1, we want a Crush glyph. I'm actually going to do 3 crushes, and we'll talk about that in a moment here. Crush, thank you. Let's go to number 2. We want Conjure Water. Water. I'm creative with my names. So there's a couple ways we can do this. We can of course place it right here, but you'll notice it'll just automatically, drink the water. So instead, and of course we don't have a whole lot of mana, so we kind of want to be particular in how we use this. If we place 2 diagonal from each other, however, it'll form a block right here. So now there's a source block here that'll keep being formed, and we now have infinite cobblestone. We can do this a little bit better though. Let's put one here as well, which will make all 3 of these our source blocks. You are source blocks as well. We need some blocks over here, like so. Water can go there. I already did that one. Basically, I'm just going to form a big ring around it so I can get 8 source blocks that are going to be constantly reforming. Cool. Right there. Thank you. You'll also notice it does this in a particular order. It's going to start in this corner, the northwest corner, and work along here. So basically, because it's always going to be doing just one at a time, when we get to automating this, we're probably just going to have a single block. And last one here. There we go. Perfect. So let's go ahead and talk about our Crush glyph here. So if we do just a simple touch Crush, it's going to be not very mana efficient, but we'll show you here. It'll turn cobblestone into gravel. I also got a couple iron nuggets from that. I'll also get gold nuggets, I believe. We can crush this again to get sand. There's a chance of getting some more drops from that. And we can crush this yet again for chances to get even more drops of different items. But what we can do instead is add this 3 times, which will save us on our touch glyph each time. And it'll just go straight down to nothing. Got a little bit of gold that time. Let's go ahead, clear that out. And basically, we just go along and try to crush all of this. Ooh, diamonds. Nice. In one of my test worlds on this, it took me about an hour to get my first diamonds, which is kind of annoying. Basically, we just go ahead and do this for a little while until we have enough resources that we can move on to the next step of progression, which may take a little while. And of course, this being a cobblestone generator, we can use our pickaxe that we have as well. We'll start with our wooden pick just because it's what we have, and get ourselves enough cobblestone to make a stone pick as well as a stone axe. Try to be careful not to break this. This one we can at least replace because it's just the frostdia and the archwood. In fact, let me pick another of these. Thank you. Get these guys growing. And I'm going to be doing this for a little bit, just kind of off camera for a bit, trying to get lots of cobblestone and some resources. It'll take a bit. We get just gold nuggets from this. We do get raw copper. Doesn't really have any specific uses, but it can be handy for things like building, or even more important in this pack in particular is experience. Remember, to unlock glyphs, we're going to need experience for that. So in order to get more mana, because, well, this is, I mean, it takes like my entire mana bar just to do one ring of this. Yeah, we need more mana. So we're going to be doing this for a bit. Alrighty, we have a bit of cobblestone dug up here. I've got a little bit less than a stack, 48, not too bad. Next thing we want to do is a couple things. We're going to need some furnaces, because that's what we'll need. We also are going to need, like I mentioned before, we can compost our frostdia. And our saplings, I suppose. But in the meantime, the frostdia are going to be much more renewable because we can just kind of expand this as we go. Let's go ahead and place our composter down. Location is pretty irrelevant, to be honest. Right there works. And we're going to keep farming these. So what we need next is we need some bone meal. And we need that because, well, we don't have much else. We could either try to branch out using cobblestone or logs, I suppose, and do like a mob farm if we wanted, but we don't actually need to do that in this pack, at least not right away. For now, I'm going to be kind of farming these guys. Maybe expand this a little bit more, I think. Perhaps, not entirely sure. But like I said, we need bone meal, so we're going to hopefully get that. Nope, okay. I want to keep at least one sapling. We got two of them growing there, but I want to keep at least one. Well, back to crushing, I suppose. Alright, well, we've got enough for these. We can at least get some bone meal. So I'll grab that, maybe get 2 bone meal. Hopefully we'll get some seeds from that. Let's see. Some flowers, yay. Seeds are what I'm looking for, unfortunately. There we go, 1. Perfect. Yeah, let's try to get a second one. Why not? Of course, we can use bone meal for our trees as well if we needed those. We don't have the thing where you can, press shift next to it. We don't have that on this server, unfortunately. 1 seed. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and make a quick hoe out of this. And it doesn't really matter where I put this, so I'm just going to have a little bit of a farming area right here. And perfect. Oh, nice. It grew. Thank you. Yeah, we're not going to just stare at this the whole time. So while that's going, I'm going to keep breaking the frostdia and do that. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick demonstration of why we don't like frostdia. We're going to eat it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat as much as I can to fill up my saturation, because we're going to start taking damage here. There we go. And we just need to have enough saturation that we will stay at full health once we lose the freezing effect in 20 seconds here. So, hold up, why am I Steve? Bailey, why am I Steve? Anyway, yeah, we just want to make sure that we eat enough of these to be able to stay at full health. So we can heal with them, but it's not advisable. Let's take a look at our quest. So we've been unlocking a couple of them here. Bone meal. Cool, thank you. This gets us a single frostdia. I'm actually going to wait on that one. I don't think there's anything after this one in this chain, but this is sort of, if you accidentally spend your last one, this will get you one to be able to replant them. So for now, we're going to leave that unlocked, or unrewarded. Anyway, single iron nugget gets us a stone shovel. Thank you, cool. The next up, we need copper. This is basically just saying, hey, you can smelt copper to get experience, which you'll need for unlocking glyphs. The other thing up here is the imbuement chamber. Imbuement chamber in a source gem gets us more source gems, so we'll need that. Remember, you can use not just amethyst, but you can also use lapis, and, well, we've been getting just a little bit of that from our crushing over here. So we'll let that keep going. We're just going to go through a little bit here. We need some spells as well. So the scribes table gets us a glyph. Well, and a glyph of craft will get us more experience and a glyph of self. can be helpful, but really our next step is going to be the imbuement chamber. So in order to do that, recipe has not changed. It is going to be some gold. Let's go ahead and grab that, and we need some planks as well. I think it is 6 in that shape. Gold on top and bottom gets us the imbuement chamber. Thank you. Let's go ahead and I'm going to put it over here and go ahead and put a lapis in there already. They'll take a little bit to go through. We don't have any source yet, so we can't speed that up. It's basically going to be, we just have multiple things going at once. We've got seeds growing, trees growing, frostaya growing, and lapis turning into source gems. Oh yeah, and crushing, that too. Well, our source gem is now done. Let's put another lapis in there. A small quality of life thing here is going to be adding some stairs. Basically, these can be waterlogged, so they'll still be considered a source block. And I'm going to just go ahead and place it like this. The actual shape is kind of irrelevant for the most part. One thing during my testing, though, is if I do this, if I break this block, water won't flow there. So it can be helpful. Let's go ahead and place that there and there, because now we can just walk around here. We don't have to worry about swimming, which will be using our hunger unnecessarily. And we can just walk around. It'll still be forming the water sources just like before. So we can go along and still do our crushing, and we can just kind of walk across it now without having to worry about anything. Second source gem is about done as well. Cool, thank you. And with source gems, we now have this quest unlocked. A couple more source gems, and we have some more guides of what to do. Get source, get some essences, and start an enchanting apparatus. What to do? Oh good, I was beginning to worry that the trees were not growing here, which is going to be kind of a problem because we need trees. I'm going to chop this one down real quick, but the next step that we want to do is we need to work on getting some source generation going, because that is really how we unlock the rest of the game. Basically, the way that this whole pack works is you build different islands, and the islands are themed for various things. There's an island for each of these archwood trees, and each of them unlocks various stuff. For instance, blazing archwood gets you, well, it's fire themed, so it gets you lava. Lava, of course, is going to be very important because that will get us, well, obsidian. It'll get us the nether portal because of the lava. It also will get us things like the volcanic source link, which will get us more source. Now the catch is, well, each of those islands needs a full jar of source to begin with. So in order to actually start expanding by using the islands, instead of, building manually a big flat cobblestone platform, basically we're going to need lots of source for that. There's also islands for generating just a plains island. You can do that basically any size you'd like, but it takes a ton of source. Specifically 10 source per block, which for 10,000 in a jar is only 1,000 blocks, which sounds like a lot, but it's pretty small actually. So we're going to keep you going while we're waiting. Next up, in order to get the source, this guy here, you need to grow a little bit faster. So been composting some frostaya a little bit. Let's go ahead and speed you up. Cool, now we have 2 seeds, twice as effective. Let's get a little bit more of that, and we have some gold. And we have some source gems, which means if I look at the recipes in here, we can make ourselves an agronomic source link. Perfect. Now we need somewhere to actually store the source, so we're going to need a source jar, which needs some sand. Well, we don't have sand, but we can by just crushing this twice. There we go, thank you. And I believe we got a stone shovel as well. Go ahead and pick up all this. We don't have the break glyph, and we're not going to have the break glyph for a while. That is now tier 2 in this pack because Bailey's mean. Let's go ahead and put our dirt back there, please. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get this going. I smelted up some stone. That'll give us a little bit of experience, as well as we'll need that for the arcane or source stone. So kind of doing lots of things at once here, and quickly running out of inventory space too. So that's going to be a problem. Let's wait for the glass here. Luckily, the source jar is just 2 pieces of glass and some planks, so we can go ahead and get that going. And now we wait. Hey, 1%. Cool, thank you. These guys here, the wheat, that's going to be getting us some source. Let's plant the rest of these. As well as, like I said, the frostaya. So basically, it's just a matter of how we want to scale things up. As this grows, we'll get more source. We need 1,000 source, or 10,000 rather, a full jar, in order to build our next island. We're also going to need some manipulation essence in order to get the different types of trees here. So if I look at the recipe for this, we can cycle between these saplings by just manipulation plus a sapling. We'll cycle through them. So we want to acquire each of those. It's going to be a little bit grindy, but this is a skyblock pack. That's kind of the, it's kind of the thing. Let's go ahead and plant the rest of these while we're waiting. Because the more of these that are growing, remember it's the growth ticks that will give us source, not the just sitting here fully grown. So it's important to harvest these things pretty regularly. Swap you out as well, thank you. And 3%. Speed Demon, woo! Yeah, this will take a bit. I mentioned that source stone is going to be important here. Let's go ahead and make some of that. It'll use up half stack of stone as well as most of our source gems, but that's okay. We're kind of making this slowly anyway. Thank you. We need this in order to make some pedestals. So in order to get the essence that we'll need to get the various saplings, we need some pedestals around our chamber thingy, imbuement chamber. That's the word. Do I have enough to make more of these? You need more gold. Okay. Oh, made one extra. Darn. Oh well. We'll need more later anyway. So acquire source. We already did that one. Get to some mirror weave. Yay. Don't really need it. We do, however, need manipulation essence. So this here is going to be a clock, which I just used all my gold on. Redstone dust, which we have, and stone button, which I also just used my last stone. So let's put more of that in. Use a charcoal on that. And we don't have enough gold, so back to the crushing. Let's put this back to 3, thank you. And we'll be doing this some more. Taking a little bit for this last one. I'm sitting at 44. I want 45 because it's a nice round number for, getting ingots. Kind of getting over this. Come on. Another diamond, yay. Yay, diamonds. We don't actually need diamonds. I thought that was gold. We don't actually need diamonds that much in this pack, but that is okay. We will be able to use those for getting things like tools. Definitely want an iron or a diamond axe for the trees up there. Come on, one more. There we go. Okay, so let's turn these into our ingots. Make ourselves a quick clock. Go there, please. Thank you. Clock, and I think I had some stone smelting up. Thank you. And the last thing we needed was a redstone dust. So let's go ahead and put this into a button. And we can place down 3 of our pedestals near the chamber here. I'm just going to go on top of these. I think I can still reach the furnace underneath. That works. Okay, so clock, button, and a redstone dust. We're going to take that out. There we go, and we'll put you back in. Okay, crafting manipulation essence. This will take a while because it needs 2,000 source. It can either, of course, take source directly from there, but I'm not going to bother using 20% of that jar because I worked hard for that jar. This will be a little bit. We'll be back. While we're waiting, I decided I do want to get a diamond axe here. It's going to be an improvement for several reasons. One is, of course, chopping down trees, but another is... Actually, I think these both do the same attack damage, don't they? Yeah, well, okay, either way, we're going to be getting phantoms pretty soon here. It's been a few nights. I haven't actually checked how many nights I have not been sleeping, but at some point we will start getting phantoms if we don't have something over our head. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse. The joke on the Discord is that as a mage, we need to fight our own nightmares in order to learn magic, which is kind of true, actually, because... Like I said before, we need experience in order to unlock new glyphs, which will give us more magic and therefore be able to, progress. But we don't really have a way of getting much XP right now. I have a little bit from smelting down things. Had some charcoal smelting, as well as some copper. So that's one route. The other route is, of course, well, like I said, fighting your nightmares, and that would be killing phantoms. So I don't actually want to stop them from spawning, but they're going to be kind of a nuisance for a while. And by chopping down that tree, we now have ourselves a manipulation essence. I actually realize I don't need this yet. What this is going to be used for is, if I take a look at recipes using the sapling here, we start off with a cascading tree. We can then manipulate it into getting a flourishing tree. We can then further follow that chain along. Flourishing plus manipulation gets us a vexing. Then, of course, we keep going along to blazing. So we do definitely want to do that. I just don't technically need it yet. I'm actually, No, I'm going to use it. So, like I said, we've been growing these guys. We won't get the fruit from the flourishing here yet, but we'll at least be able to get the wood. So I'm going to place that there, take out the dirt again, because I like getting free dirt from stuff. I'll put you back, thank you. In fact, we can actually bone meal you. We've got some built up now. Cool, and we have 2 types of trees now. Kind of the theme is we're going to be trying to get each of the different trees. We'll be able to then get each of the islands. The islands are actually a pretty cheap recipe. If I look at this here, Tablet of Conjure Island, flourishing. It is a sapling, a log, and a diamond. So we have all those now. Well, actually, I don't have a sapling right now because it's a tree. But we'll get saplings from this, so no big deal there. Other than that, we're just going to keep progressing, getting more of these. But I think this is a good spot to call this episode. We've got the first manipulation essence, our second tree rather. We're not going to be able to get to islands until the next episode though, because we don't have nearly enough source. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.